for this next discussion as well. Now, in developments from the Middle East, Qatar's Emir Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani has discussed the Gaza Peace Plan put forward by the United States with President Trump. The Emiri Diwan stated that President Trump and Qatar's Emir held a telephonic conversation regarding the peace plan. During the call, Emir Sheikh Tamim bin Tamim reiterated Qatar's support for the peace efforts and expressed optimism that the plan could lead to a just settlement guaranteeing regional security and stability. Doha has been actively engaging in the Gaza Peace Plan, presenting it to Hamas, which is set to be reviewing the proposal put forward by President Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. The conversation between the Qatari leader and President Trump may be a positive step towards a ceasefire and a peace deal. Now we go back to our guest discussion with Peter Baum. He's a foreign editor at Weekly Blitz, joins us live from London. Thank you, Peter, for staying with us. Now, can we finally be optimistic and what are potential challenges in getting all parties to accept the peace plan proposed by President Trump and agreed upon with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu?
Yeah, there's definitely room for optimism here. I think most players who want to see an end to the conflict would be very supportive of this. And I think, as we spoke yesterday and perhaps the day before, it's only the extremists on either side that want to see this plan fail. They have the intention of prolonging the war, of keeping it going for their own political objectives. But with the Qataris on board, with countries like Pakistan and even Turkey on board with this, with the European Union supporting this, there is every hope for optimism. And something else that is very important, which I think we've missed out in the last couple of days, is that the population of Gaza City have more or less left the city. There are of something like 900,000 residents, over 800,000 have moved to areas suggested by the Israeli government. Now, this means that Hamas can no longer use the civilian population to fulfill and continue its military objective. So Hamas are at the moment politically isolated. Militarily, too, this could see the end of them if they don't agree to the peace plan, because it's very clear that the Trump administration has given the Netanyahu administration the green light to complete their objectives of destroying Hamas militarily if Hamas do not agree in full to the Trump peace plan, although there are a couple of things within the peace plan, a couple of points that Hamas are currently objecting to. They strongly objected to yesterday. I think the Qataris are pressuring them to agree in total. So the next 48 hours would be absolutely crucial to see if Hamas agree and if the Trump peace plan can indeed proceed.
And how do you analyze Qatar's role in facilitating dialogue, and do you believe there are some obstacles that Qatar can face in convincing Hamas to accept peace plan? And you've mentioned the reaction by Hamas already, but how might Qatar navigate these challenges?
Yeah, Hamas seem to be the only player within the Arab world who can influence Hamas. Iran has completely lost all credibility and influence vis-a-vis their connection with Hamas, because they can no longer supply Hamas with weapons, and Iran's economy has been dealt some devastating blows. So Qatar is the only player. Now, it's clear that Netanyahu, by his apology to the Qataris for the bombing in Doha, has also come to the conclusion that it is only Qatar who can convince Hamas to agree to the Trump peace plan. This was a big climb down for Netanyahu to apologise to Qatar, for which he received a lot of criticism within Israeli cabinet circles, but where the Israeli population thought it was probably a good thing to do. So Qatar's influence cannot be underestimated, and Trump recognises that. Politically, he's very shrewd when it comes to the Qataris, and they have a big role to play in convincing Hamas to agree to the peace plan. Yes, indeed, you're quite right on that.
And Peter, thank you. And Peter, how do you think there are some criticism regarding the next figure who is to lead the peace after peace plan, post-war, war in Gaza's ruling? So we have a name, Tony Blair, for that particular role. What do you think of him ruling, and do you think that he will be successful in doing that?
Well, this is quite amazing, and all analysts looking at this situation are quite surprised that the Arab world, the Muslim world, has accepted Tony Blair for this role because of the devastation he and Bush created in Iraq some years ago. Now, he's created a position for himself as being a major player, a major communicator with many governments throughout the world. He has this company, a company, a public relations company, a media company, a consultancy company, and it's quite staggering that the world at large has agreed to him having such a major role within Gaza. Nevertheless, as the feedback from many nations has been positive, who are we to say, well, my God, I wouldn't have chosen him, but clearly Trump and the European Union do have faith in him. I think he will come by a lot of criticism if indeed he achieves, if the Trump plan achieves its objective. No doubt Blair will come in for a lot of personal criticism, and there will be those that hate him as a figure who will only want him to fail in this very important objective.
Right. Thank you very much, Peter, for sharing that insight. Please stay with us.